Ghost Recon Wildlands is the next big game coming out from the Tom Clancy franchise by Ubisoft. While over the past couple years they've really been trying to bring back the franchise, this game seems to be the most impressive out of all of them. Ubisoft has even stated that this is the biggest open world game that they have ever made, and from the looks of it they seem to be pretty accurate with how big the world is, especially from playing the beta. So we're going to be going over 5 things that I think they did right in the game. Now granted, these are going to be going from playing the beta, so some of these things might change, but I have a feeling they will not. So number 1 is probably the biggest deal when it comes to a franchise, and I think that is staying true to its roots. If you've played any other Ghost Recon game or Tom Clancy game for that matter, you know that how much it revolves around stealth and realism. The Tom Clancy franchise is known for bringing great quality to games and really just kind of pushing the boundaries of where things go for console games. And one of these other games that you might know of is Rainbow Six Siege is one of the other ones that came out not too long ago, and they kind of pushed the boundary with destruction there. And the Tom Clancy franchise is really known for doing that. This is no different with Wildlands either. Even though the game does not punish you for going balls to the wall, you still get the feeling they want you to be stealthy. The game is very realistic when it comes to how much damage bullets do. Now granted, your bullets do a lot more damage than the enemy's bullets do to you, like in any other game, but you still get the idea that you are in a war zone and that you cannot take too many shots. You know, if you find yourself dying over and over again, it's because you are going balls to the wall. And you're probably going to find yourself dying over and over again if you keep using this approach. So the game really does, I feel like, kind of push you towards staying towards the stealthy mode. Number 2 is playing with your friends or playing solo. You have the option to do both here, which I think is a very important thing when it comes to deciding if you want to buy the game or not. I think if you want to play solo, it is still a very fun game. But like most games, if you do want to play with your friends, you can. You can play up with a max of 4 people, I believe, in a squad. And if you do that, you're really going to see the benefits of the game. But even with that being said, the game still seems to be very fun by playing solo. If you want to play by yourself, you can easily do so with your AI teammates. You will have 3 other teammates that will just be there with you. They're strictly computer, and if somebody joins, it will kind of take over one of those characters. While you can command your team and where to go, you still find yourself doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and you can still take full control over your team, which I think is a very important thing here. So you have control over what your AI does. Again, they might not be the smartest AI that you've ever seen, but they are there for when you need to be revived, which is another great thing. So maybe try to hold them back until you get down, and they will come revive you and kill everybody then. And if you aren't the solo type, if you have a friend or more, you can always play with them. You can have up to 4 people in the game, like I said, and a vast open world. We kind of discussed that earlier, just how massive this world is going to be. And you can explore using boats, helicopters, cars, motorcycles, and etc. You have plenty of options to go do that. And go have fun with your friends, see what you guys can do and what you guys can cause together. And I think it's just really a fun game to play with your friends, or if you want to play solo. And I think that's why I included it in the list, is because it's such an important thing, is you don't always have the friends to play with. And if you want to play solo, it's still going to be a very fun game for you. Number 3, I think, is actually a very important thing that a lot of games actually might get wrong. And that is driving. So driving and flying in Wildlands is actually a pretty good experience. Now, flying is a little bit more tricky when it comes to helicopters and stuff like that, but I mainly want to talk about driving. Being that this is a big open world, you will catch yourself driving or flying everywhere. The driving is a big part of the game, and it actually has some feel to it. Other games, like, I don't want to name names, but Watch Dogs, it's very dull, it's not very fun, you don't really feel like you're controlling the car. But in Wildlands, you actually get the feeling that you can feel the steering wheel in your hands with the controller, and it just feels like a very good control scheme in how it feels and your feedback from it. And a lot of games get that wrong, so I think it's a very important thing, especially in games to where they're big open worlds, so you're going to have to be driving a lot or flying. So I think that's a very, very important detail to this. It's not quite as good as GTA, but it's definitely better than Watch Dogs by far. Number 4 might be one of the biggest ones for anybody who wants to buy this game and they're worried about player customization.
Click here.
You know, in some games it's a very big deal. In Wildlands, it's a massive deal because it's a big open world. You want to make your character feel like your own. And you can customize pretty much everything from your vest to your weapon in this game. And when I say customize your weapon, I'm not just talking about, you know, changing the color of the gun. You can do that if you want, but you can change the color of the stock, you can change the color of the magazine, you can change the barrel, you can change the stock, you can change everything on your gun. It feels very realistic in that aspect because in real life, you can go buy different portions of your gun, and the other thing I like about it is you can't just jump into the game and have the best weapons. You actually have to go out and find these different parts to your weapon, and that way you can improve your guns over time. It gives you a reason to go exploring these other villages that you might not go to and kill these enemies. So I think it's a very big deal when it comes to the amount of customization you can really do. And if you've seen any gameplay of this game, you will see that the player customization goes very in-depth and it's very detailed with how much you can really control. So if you're one of those people who loves to go into a game customizing everything, this is going to be a great game for you because honestly, I've never seen a game have more customization than this when it comes to your character. So last but not least, we have number 5, and number 5 is kind of a broader detail. It's not just set to one topic per se, and that is the big open world with lots to do. You know, a lot of games can have a big open world, but it depends on how much stuff there really is to do in that world, which makes it fun. And from what it seems from just playing the beta, that this has tons of side missions and stuff like that to do, but you're not, you know, forced to do those missions. You can go out and kill random people if you want. Now, granted, they do frown on you killing civilians. You can kill a couple if you want. You know, that's not the worst deal in the world. But they will cuss at you saying, hey, fuckhead, you hit a civilian. So, not the end of the world. But you still have all these other outposts and bases that you can go and kill these people. And you have all these side missions. You have all these relationships that you can probably, you know, go out and create, which will help you in the long run. When it comes to how the gameplay and how the game transforms for you, and it will update the world with all those relationships that you make. So when it comes to the side missions, the relationships, the actual story missions, it looks like there's going to be plenty of stuff to do, and that's not even including playing with your friends and all the fun stuff you guys can go do together. So overall, I think the game does a lot of stuff very well. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff I would like to incorporate into this video, but I wanted to keep it pretty short for you guys. There are some things that are not great, which I might make a video on that as well, but stay tuned in for that. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Alex, and subscribe to PowerPlay if you like this video for more, and we upload weekly content for you guys. So bye-bye, guys, and thank you very much for watching.